Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing KULT Divinity Lost role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The campaign is The Black Madonna. It's available from Helmcast. I'm the Game Master, and this is episode 4. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. So, the bullets are flying. I think everybody's going to have to do an avoid injury. Because not only are there bullets flying, but there's glass flying.
Six.
13.
15.
I thought I was bad on 10.
Yeah, you thought your 6 was bad. Your one and only weapon master got a 4.
No! The two people who can fight
We need,
been hit.
we need you.
So let's see, since the two people who are hit, how do we handle that? Is that considered a wound, a bullet?
Avoid harm is, if it's 15 plus, they emerge completely unharmed, so they don't have to worry about taking any injuries potentially. 10 to 14, it's a list from which the GM decides. You avoid the worst of it, but the GM decides if you end up in a bad spot, lose something, or partially sustain harm. And up to 9, bend over, here it comes again. You were too slow to react, or you have made a bad judgment call. Perhaps you didn't avoid any harm at all, or you ended up in an even worse spot than before. The GM makes a move. So normally followed up with endure injury, and then the level of harm subtracted off that, depending on how much we're taking from having avoided harm in the first place.
Okay. I'm going to say in both cases, you are grazed.
Okay.
So I'm not going to cost you a full point, but you are a full wound, but you are bleeding. And you're also in vulnerable positions. So somebody outside you're not behind a bookcase or anything like that. The rest of you seem to have dove for, they're under tables and so forth. Somebody is shooting up the front of the building. Your other patrons, they have also dove for cover. You can hear a few people scream on the street. Petra and Dieter, both of you are knowledgeable enough to know that the bullets are probably coming from a distance. You're not hearing a loud pop, so they've probably got a silencer. But the way they're hitting, they're probably fairly big caliber bullets. So they would have to be on a rooftop down the street or somewhere aiming at you. What do you guys want to do?
Find the thickest books I can from my position behind the, I don't know if the,
okay. Well, there's lots of places to hide in a
medical
bookstore.
books or something.
There's quite a lot of places to hide in the bookstore. So you're getting down on the ground. A few more volleys hit the building, and then everything goes quiet. You can hear a few people on the street yelling.
Assuming that Jakob is okay and
yes.
conscious,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell him to get on the phone to the police, and I'm going to if I would have to open the front door, I'm going to go out into the street and see what the witnesses saw.
All right. Can I assume though that you're not just like instantly walking out of the street?
Yeah, I'm not leaping up after the third shot of the second volley, but as that silence settles in and then people start to make that noise after.
All right. So you're going to see if anybody saw anything.
Yeah.
John and Ingolf. Oh, well, Ingolf, you're hiding.
Yeah, I'm
John, what are you
cowering
doing?
as best as my ability.
I'm looking for the law section because those are big bricks of books.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
You're
hiding
also
behind the medical books. You got the law books.
Veteran Dieter. Your
Um,
clothes are ripped where you've been.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
So I would obviously going by that. We know there's silenced high caliber weapons probably on the rooftops. I want to see if I can see any evidence. So I'm going to observe the situation.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like I need to keep it together roll. I've been grazed. Shots are flying. Dieter's more accustomed to violence. I am not so much. So I'm going to try
Right.
to keep it together.
That was a 13. I just need to find the questions. What
How did you
page
do
on-
and keep it together?
Yes, yeah, 10, just 10. So I would say I'm probably scared, like -1 stability. Yeah.
Okay.
What page are the questions and all that? Don't have the exact page number.
What's the best way through this? What currently poses the biggest threat? What can I use to my advantage? What should I be on the lookout for? What is being hidden from me? What seems strange about this? Or if you come up with a question other than that, that's fine.
To be fair, what is being hidden from me is probably the best because I'm trying to see.
All right. And you passed. So
Yeah.
when you're shot at, you sort of roll on the floor and you roll over by the window. And while you're still in the process of being shot at, you very carefully take a peek, without exposing yourself too much. You can see that there is a sharpshooter about 3 doors down on the roof across the street. Against the sky, he looks pretty dark, but there's just something about the shape that reminds you of that guy that you saw at the party a couple of days ago.
Well, I'm a ballsy man. I know one thing: when there's someone shooting at me, I need to get rid of them, and my gun's not going to cover that length. No way, handguns.
Right.
So I'm going to have to, if there's any cars out front or whatever, use it as cover and make my way towards with my gun.
Okay, well, by the time the gun shooting stops and by the time you and
Probably.
Dietrich make it outside, the person's gone.
So I saw where they were, right?
Yeah, you're pretty sure you know right where they were.
I still want to head there because not everyone, some people leave evidence behind.
Okay, are you going to go running down the street holding your gun in your hand?
Well, as soon as I've actually realized he's gone, my gun is getting holstered. I'm not going to
Okay,
run around like a madman. I'll probably get shot. by
but
someone.
you're trying to see if you can get there.
Yeah, I'm being careful though because he might be gone out of my vision, but
Right.
my paranoid
stealthy.
way. Yeah.
All right. So you're on your way for that. Dietrich, somebody on the street who's running past, you grab a hold of them and you ask them.
Oh.
And they
Did you
they
say
point,
anything? This is my shop. Who did
They
this?
pointed a rooftop and they say there was a man up there.
You didn't see anything, just a man.
I'm pretty sure it was a man dressed in black.
Could you wait for the police?
All right, but
We'll keep an eye out. But
everybody's
I didn't see anything. I was inside.
after a few minutes, you hear sirens coming down the street. Dieter.
Yes.
You run across the street. You run down towards the building. Describe for me what your intentions are or what you're going to do.
So my intentions are to find a way to.
I
Get
didn't
to where
actually
it
mean
is.
your intentions. I know you're trying to find.
Yeah.
Describe for me what you're doing.
Okay. So I'll look for the entrance, I'd assume, and then
Yeah.
then I would go through it if I can. If not, I will try to discreetly get in,
Okay.
and then
You slip through the door.
if there's a stairwell, I'll make my way up the stairwell.
There's a stairwell. This looks like it might be have like offices here and there. You go up the stairwell and you turn a corner. You don't hear anything up above.
Does it say so? Going on to that, does it seem like there's anyone else in this building?
Yeah, probably. There's probably people in their offices, and way over here, they probably are not even aware that something took place.
Yeah, especially
You know,
with the sun.
they might have run to their windows to look out and see what's going
Yeah.
on.
And from the fact they had a suppressed weapon means they are definitely semi-professional at the least, from my standpoint. So I am being cautious. My hand is like on my gun, and I will just carefully make my way to the room where I think
Okay.
the shooter was.
Well, he was on the roof. He was on the,
Oh, yeah,
the roof
yeah.
of the building. You find access to it, and in fact, there was a chain and padlock so that people can't get up onto the roof that's been broken.
Okay.
You open that door, and there's a few more stairs going up to another door that opens up to the roof. What do? You step out of the
Yeah,
door?
carefully. And this is where I will have my gun out because I'm not expecting any civilians to be up here. So I will have my gun out in case.
All right. You step out, and the roof is fairly plain. There's like an air conditioning unit, but it's not particularly large. You move around the little sort of stairway building that you've come out of, and there's gravel on the roof. You move over, and you see that the building itself is fairly close to the building next to it, and there's only maybe a gap of 6 feet. So a person jumping from this roof could easily jump onto that roof,
Yeah.
and possibly to the next roof, and so forth.
Yeah. So they could have gone in. They basically could have disappeared into any of the buildings.
Right, and they could have gone in one of two different directions. So,
Okay.
do an investigate. See if you can find any.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask to do when I was on the move. So, let's do. Oh shit! I forgot. I'm terrible at this. That's only a 9, so that's not.
Okay.
That's a fail. So you have a.
You are as you're looking around, you do find a couple of bullet casings, and it does look like it's from a high-powered, like a Scorpio, a fairly big, powerful gun.
Yeah.
There's probably a casing for every bullet that hit the building.
Okay.
And also you could probably tell it from up here. It had a pretty clear view of you people inside the window.
Okay.
Even though it was at an angle.
Well, not finding it, not too much of a waste of time. Well, it is in the long run, but I am now going to just make my way back down because I don't think he'll put, if he only sees the casings from his investigation of the roof, he probably won't progress further with that. So he will go back down and regroup with the rest, being cautious because he didn't know what room.
You'll do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So by now the police have arrived. The police come inside. Who's the proprietor? Can you tell us what happened?
I'm afraid, is it a man or a woman that I stopped on the street? This
That was a
person
man.
knows. This person actually saw something. I was inside the shop when the bullets began to come in.
Gives a story. There was somebody on the roof over there firing a gun.
It was only minutes after I came to the shop this afternoon, we didn't hear gunshots, just the glass breaking and things. And my friend is injured slightly, and thousands and thousands of dollars of damage. I don't know why anybody. I don't have any idea who would want to do such a thing.
Well, this is a very serious crime. Somebody shooting a gun. Do you have any enemies? Any?
As I said, I can't imagine who would want to attack us. I don't have debtors or.
Well, my guess is that
professional-
he's going to ask you to come down to the station and any
Yes, of course.
witnesses so that they can talk to you all. But Professor seems to be missing. He went out the back door, maybe.
Yeah, well, we won't be mentioning that. We will, again, the police have to know that a couple of people were injured. Thousands of Deutschmarks of damage have been done. And I need to phone my wife or her office before I go with you, just so that she, I don't want her to find out some other way. So if you'll excuse me for a moment. And of course, I'm going to go into my office and call Selma and tell her that we are going to make a cleaning on this insurance. We're going to hypervaluate every book with a hole in it. We're going to make a deal with a glazier to pay top dollar for new windows. I mean, I say this in this most shorthand manner, of course, but the only good news in this to me is that we are always, tight, and this is really going to work out. We are well insured.
Right.
I wonder if the professor snuck out the back because he's got a multidimensional worm and a cigarette box in his pocket.
So,
I don't mention that to Zelma. I just tell her that not to worry, the shop's okay, I'm okay. We're going to have to make arrangements.
Okay. So you all end up accompanying police down to the station.
I will not be going to the
Oh.
police station.
Did you try to sneak out or?
Yeah, I think with Dietrich talking to the police and they're kind of engrossed in everything going on, Petra is going to make an exit that direction, especially if it's a grazing wound. I'll go lick my wounds somewhere else, but not with the police.
Okay. Dieter's already out of the building.
Yeah,
So-
if I do get down there and see a police car, I won't go back. I will.
Okay. All right. So the two of you have gone in a different direction. So John and Ingolf and Dietrich, you end up going down to the station and giving a statement. The detective is police detective Dennis Hengsler, Hengsstler, Hengsler. And he gets all of your information and asks all the appropriate questions. So who do you think might have done this? Or none of you have any idea. So maybe it was just some crazy person.
I mean, it's possible that there was, just before the first window broke, I saw a little bit like in a film of a red light in the air.
Like a laser storm.
Right, yes, like in a film. So it is possible that it wasn't the shop that they were trying to injure, but they were after a customer or something. And there were several people in the shop whom I can't name. A couple of people, of course, left in a panic, as you can understand. There was glass flying everywhere. It was terrifying. I've never seen such a thing. So it may have been personal, but I don't know why anybody would want to harm me or my shop specifically.
Well, that's probably a very insightful thing. It's probably with somebody in your shop that was. Well, we've got their names. We've got all the people involved, unless people ran away. And if somebody was the victim of being, an assassination attempt, then they may have run out and left you alone. So you guys are probably there for a good 2 hours.
And of course, at some point, I'm going to ask Hengstler, the passerby saw someone on the rooftop. Did you find anything?
Oh yeah, we found some bullet casings. So
so you have
high caliber bullet sharpshooter must have done this.
So is this even a legal weapon that was used?
I don't think so. I think this is a military weapon.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Not very many people would be able to get a hold of something like this.
How do you think that the television and newspaper people are going to treat this? Can we keep this sort of quiet? I don't want people to be afraid to come to my shop, of course.
Well, I'm not sure that there's any way to keep quiet that it might have been some sort of gangland thing, but we'll not publish your name, but people will probably see photographs of the front of your shop. At this point, I would suggest that you're going to have to find some way to board up your front window.
Yes, that's the way I mentioned this to my wife already. I'm sure she's making arrangements, but we will have to. Do you think? Well, can we have police security as well for a few days?
We'll have a couple of cops down there just to make sure nothing happens. Also, do try to consider and think. You probably know your clientele pretty well too. Is there anybody in your clientele that might be connected with, I don't know, the mafia or something like that? Your shop sells what mostly?
We have a range, but we do have rare and first editions and antiquarian objects. So we do see this is another reason I don't want too much publicity. We see people with rare and expensive tastes sometimes.
Well, a rare book dealer doesn't seem to be the kind of person that somebody would try to shoot at from across the.
I don't have a political history or anything like. I'm sure I have a lot of people who would like to see me go out of business, but nobody who would hire an assassin to try to kill me from a rooftop. More like somebody who would put strychnine in tea.
Well, we will send a policeman over to your location. Do you live there?
Yes. My apartment is upstairs from the
might
shop.
suggest that you stay in a hotel, perhaps.
Yeah. Yes, I think that's probably very reasonable. In fact, if I could call someone, or if you can give me an officer's name, Detective Hengstler, it might be a good idea. We have, a safe in the shop, but we should perhaps take those things to a bank deposit box. But it would be good to have a police escort for this.
All right.
If I
Yeah.
could call someone, when we have everything together.
I'll assign Officer Hammerstein to go with
I
you.
appreciate that. Oh, it's a good thing I'm taking my heart pills.
We'll also assume that he establishes your relationships with the other two, John and Ingolf, and why you were all together, and
They are
ask you
trusted
guys
and
if there's
uninvolved.
anything that you want to ask or add to the to the narrative.
Yeah, in
I mean, it
fact,
was just so out of the blue. I mean, we had just walked in the doors. We had just walked in the doors, and the bullets started flying.
Well, it would seem like the person was probably staked out there for a while, so it probably wasn't you at all that was the target. I mean, how would they know that you were going to be there?
right. John, perhaps you can help sort of arrange the public narrative. You have an exclusive of sorts, at least a head start.
First-hand account, one would say. Yeah. One of the things that's kind of getting at me is that something seems really off. That you've got someone with a high-powered rifle, someone that's got a scope, potentially a laser sight as well, and they don't hit anyone. It seems like a whole lot of show. So I'm keeping an eye on the police as they're questioning us. And I'm going to see, can I read them to see if there's anything going on behind the scenes here that we're not cottoning on to?
Okay. Yeah.
Intuition. +1. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So middle of the road. Which is one question.
Yeah.
I don't think are you lying is applicable because it's more looking for motive behind their questioning. They're not so lying by asking questions. I'm going to go with what do you wish I would do?
What do you do? What does the policeman wish that you would do?
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. I would have to just say he wants you to stay safe.
Okay, so I'm reading that's sounding like he actually has got our interests at heart, that there's no
Right.
ulterior motive going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the question now is, where do you all go? Where Petra and Dieter, where are you guys going to go?
I'm headed back to my office for now because I need to have some words with Rolf. So
Okay. And Dieter, where are you?
Well, I'm probably going to head to a dive bar and have a drink.
Okay. Petra, you were shot at. You know the city pretty damn well. You know how to blend in. You've gotten good at that. You are dressed fairly nicely, so in the right area, you blend in pretty well. But as you start getting towards where your office is, I don't know if the hackles on your neck sort of stand up, and you start to wonder about the phone calls and the somebody's been looking for you or trying to find out things about you. And now every parked van, every car, every high rise begins to look really suspicious.
yeah.
So do you want to continue to your office, or phone in from a distance.
It's a good point. Don't want to be standing in a public phone booth making a call either, surrounded by glass.
Also, as your anxiety rises, and your nervousness increases, you find yourself itchy. Mostly under your arms and a bit in your crotch area.
I'm going to go to a just middle of the road hotel, book a room for the night,
Okay.
and get on the phone with Rolf.
Okay. Let's play that out. Yeah, boss. What's up?
Who the fuck is moving military weapons? Who is moving? Is it that motherfucker Winkler? Have you heard anything about him recently?
Winkler? I haven't seen anything. I mean, there's a number of black marketeers in the city, some that we've dealt with and some that we haven't.
I was shot at, Rolf. I
Oh my
want to
God.
know. I want to know who is sending someone to shoot at me with military grade weapons. Did anyone show up at that PO box?
Nobody. And it's stuffed. You can see that it's stuffed. I'm not sure that they
I
were,
want whatever's in that PO box.
I'm not sure that they're collecting anything. They're just using it as an excuse to get information on you. You were shot. Are you okay?
It was a grazing hit. That doesn't. It's beside the point. They're following us. They're following all of us. I could have
Oh,
been killed.
you need to find a safe house or something.
Shit.
I mean, we got a
I should
couple
have
of
taken
them.
care of Winkler years ago. Asshole, bet he's behind this.
Well, I mean, there are steps. If you think he's behind it, I can certainly start the wheels in motion to.
Yeah,
See what he's up to.
he's been just a fucking thorn in my side for years anyway. It's time.
All
I've been
right.
holding on to that for stupid
You-
reasons. Just it's time to cut that.
You lay low, make sure you're in a place where nobody or where you are getting some attention, but not from the bad guys, and
Yeah.
set up your alibis, make sure that you're safe. And if you need anything, we can use, we'll say that we've got a pre-established phone number for you to use that's
Sure.
secure.
Just keep me in the loop. If anyone is sniffing around after me, keep me in the loop. Keep stock moving. You know what to do.
Yeah. All right. Dieter, I'm sorry, where are you headed?
To a bar, any bar.
Oh, you're going to a bar. Okay, you're going to
Yeah.
a bar to get drunk.
Yeah.
All right. The three of you, John, Ingolf, and Dietrich. What's your next move?
Well, as a horror writer, I'm not accustomed to being shot at.
Yet.
Yeah. I hope I never get used to it. Hope it doesn't
You know,
happen that
you've made it,
much.
man.
But I think now is the time to go back to my apartment, smoke a couple cigarettes, and try to calm the hell down. It's been an exciting day, and I don't know what to do with myself after it.
John?
I have to take care of all this business. I think we should arrange to meet tomorrow someplace that is not as obvious as my bookshop, since we thought that would be a nice back room and it turned out to be a war zone. So if one of you have an idea about a busy public place where we can be anonymous and we can try to reach the others who disappeared kind of impressively. We can try to coordinate and see what has happened between now and then. I'm eager to get some information. We have to track Kramer down. Yes.
There's a little cafe by where I live. I mean, it's a lot of people coming in and out. It's a blue collar working type of area, but so it's pretty busy.
Yeah, we don't want to be on the street, of course.
Yeah, inside they have some booths. A lot of people kind of walk in and out, so there's lots of foot traffic, and
yeah, that's
not a whole lot of people sticking around. So maybe you could.
So we can both try to call the others and see if we can get through. I'll leave a message. Ingolf, you're going to be at home, so I'll leave a message with you as soon as Zelma and I have a hotel.
Yes, yeah. Get yourself safe. This is a rather troubling development in all of this. I mean,
despite what I told the police, they did start shooting as soon as we got there. So I think it was one of us they were after. I just didn't want them sniffing up any of our asses.
I mean, Dieter and Petra. I mean, I don't know much about them, but they were out of there pretty fast. I mean, what their business interests might be, it could have been one of them. I don't know. I don't know who would want to kill you or John or myself.
The only person who wants to kill me is Zelma, and we sort of have a pact. So
yeah, and if Zelma wanted to kill you, she wouldn't need to hire a gunman to shoot at you.
She's a very smart woman. That might be exactly how she'd do it, but I would have gotten it first. She's not going to, again, despite what I told the police, she's not going to poison my tea because she'd be the first suspect. We have good insurance on each other as well as the shop.
Well, if you just let her know if she tries to kill you again, just leave me out of it.
I think that's perfectly fair. God, I itch.
Yes, it's some kind of magical illness, and parasitic worms was bad enough. But something about getting shot at was a good distraction for a while.
Did I tell you that they started to eat her after she finally expired?
No, we hadn't. This is what we were going to discuss in the back room, but
yeah, there's a doctor at the hospital who can see them.
Really?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
I might even have an idea about the Russian book that Magda was looking for based on him, but obviously I can't. I'm not going to be able to do any business tonight. So yes, we'll meet at your cafe tomorrow. Try to reach the others. I don't know where. I think Bonin must have shot out the back door, and he has one of the worms with him.
Oh, that's well. Maybe he gave a student a bad grade on a paper, and they wanted to take revenge.
Dieter, Dietrich, you are aware that there are other bookshops in town, some of them specializing in occult stuff as well.
Well, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna,
right.
I'm not ditching it. I just think I'm gonna be kind of busy.
Okay.
In the immediate short term.
To?
I think I'm going to swing by the Unter den Linden before heading off to Sophie's place, my lovely little party-going fuck buddy, and yeah, very much like Ingolf, I don't like getting shot at. I don't get shot at very often, so yeah, spend the evening trying to calm down a bit with her.
Okay. You do that, Dietrich. You start working on, they get some plywood so that you can do up the front of your building, and you have to fend off a lot of people who ask you questions. How did this happen, and so forth. Ingolf.
Maybe you have other bookstores. I want to go if Diedrich could supply a shop that he knows of who specializes in the occult, I might turn up there to inquire about if they carry anything from the SA or Black Sun Publishing.
Yeah, I probably can give the 3 shops that are closest that have the most esoteric stuff. One of them has mostly junk, but sometimes underprices pretty good volumes. One of them thinks that everything exotic should be worth a fortune. I don't know that, I didn't recognize the publisher, so I don't know about anything. I guess I might know if somebody specializes in Eastern European and Russian.
Well, that sort of stuff, that's exotic. People, these kind of shops are going to have that, some of that stuff at least. So there's the Cauldron, the Mantra, and the Wheel of Fortune.
Okay. The Cauldron.
If I had thought of that ahead of time, I would have had those in German.
Sorry, what were the names again? Is it
The Cauldron, the Mantra, just Mantra, and Wheel of Fortune.
At least mantra, we know will be mantra in German, since it's Hindi.
So I'll start with the Cauldron. After thinking about going and smoking cigarettes in my apartment, I just need to move. I've tried having a task to do.
It's a fairly generic sort of little bookshop with a lot of oddities, a lot of stuff that would be associated, with witchcraft and so forth, but on a very mild level. You wanted to ask, or you want to read this, you investigate, or
yeah, well, I want to ask them if they've heard of Black Sun Publishing, or
yes, they have heard of Black Sun.
So I just want to ask the proprietor if they're there, the manager, like whoever runs the place, if it's small. I discovered them rather recently, and it's intriguing that the Slavic Association has an interest in occult publications. Do you know anything about why that is?
Not really. I don't know what the Slavic Association is, but most of the stuff that Black Sun does is Russian or translations from Russian.
Right. Do they have like themes that they kind of stick on? So
I suppose it's generic all over the place, but I suppose there's a pretty strong thing on dreams, dream interpretation, dream stuff. And she looks around for a few minutes, and she actually hands you a copy of Kramer's book.
Is it decently priced?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll probably pick up a
uh,
copy, so we have 2 at least.
60 Deutschmarks or something like that.
Yeah,
That
I'll
would be
buy it.
$35.
Oh. Yeah, but the knowledge I have in this book in relation to my current state in life, I'll certainly buy a copy. So I know John has a copy that we got from Magda's apartment, but having a second one, I don't think it's a bad idea. So
It's yeah, and she says, it's a fairly ponderous tome. It's not an easy read. She says, what other, is that what you're interested in, is dreams?
well, yes. So I'm a horror writer, and I write. A lot of my inspiration comes from my nightmares, actually. So the relationship between dreaming and the creative arts is a personal fascination of mine.
I see. Well, some of the other books she shows you are Compendium Somnalia by Philip Hoinberg. There's Sagni Sergeti by Gaspari Sorelli, and Somni Ex Inferno by Andronicus. These are all fairly well-known texts on dreams.
I think I'll dive into this one first, but I'll keep those others in mind. I'll even write them down.
Any particular authors that you like, or it sounds like you're interested mostly in the dreaming stuff.
Yes, well, I mean my surface. I mean, I've never dove into the esoteric side of things. I mean, the writings of Freud and of Jung come to mind about dream interpretation from a psychoanalysis, but not much from the occult, which I find there are things in esoterica that add a certain clarity where people of a purely secular mind have blind spots.
It's true. Well, if there's anything I can help you with.
You also have anything about curses?
Curses?
Particularly Russian, Slavic curses.
I don't know. Dealing in like black magic, we tend to stay a little towards the white magic here. We do have some things on Satanism. But she shows you a couple of things.
Okay.
But they're fairly generic.
You say that not that I'm like doubting, your mention of your emphasis on white magic. Do you and you mentioned your Satanist texts. Do you have any connections with the local satanic scene? Is it common that you have people coming in here looking for that?
Oh, here in Berlin, there's actually a couple of groups that are interested. There's the West Berlin Satanists. There's I don't know if you'd call it the remnants of the East Berlin Satanists. And her finger goes up like this, and it comes down on Philip's book. And she says, Philip Kramer is one of the leaders of the East Berlin Satanists.
Oh, really? Have you met him?
Oh no, never met him. He's a very reclusive individual, hard to find. I've never seen him at a book signing or anything like that.
Do you know where they meet? Are they
not a clue?
They have not a clue.
I think he or they cater to the more wealthy, the Satanists who don't want anybody to know that they're Satanists.
Yes, well, I mean, with their with the stranglehold that Christianity seems to have on our culture, I can understand why folks in high positions would want to hide any associations with that. It would certainly hurt them, even with their any of their peers who are non-religious. It tends to have a bad taste. So
you mentioned the Black Sun Publishing. I think that Kramer has some affiliation with them. I think so. I mean, he's definitely had his book published by them. I wouldn't get, if I were you're a horror writer, and it's okay to sort of explore these things from the outside, but I wouldn't push too far in that direction. Some of those people can be kind of dangerous.
Oh, dangerous.
Well, I think that I read a while back that Philip Kramer is wanted for questioning concerning the murder of a few people. like I say, he's reclusive. People can't find him. So
So I suppose if I was wanted, I probably lay low too. But murders, are you? Do the
There's
East
just-
Berlin Satanists practice human sacrifice?
maybe. I mean, people do go missing every year.
Oh, that's
There's also other people associated with that group that are unwholesome. People in the black market, people associated with Russian mafia, German East German police, the Stasi. I mean, they were all sort of in each other's cahoots. Like I say, I just wouldn't. If I were you, I would stick to the outside and not go delving too deep.
yes. On the outside looking in is certainly a safe place, and interesting from a fiction writing perspective. I don't believe authors need to have firsthand experience of everything they write about.
No.
I think your advice in this matter is quite sound. If what you say is true, it's what an interesting world we live in, isn't it?
Indeed.
Thank
Well,
you
if
so
there's
much.
anything else. If there's
Yes,
anything
of
else.
course. It's been lovely talking with you. You have such a lovely shop.
Thank you. All right. Anything else? Or you can go.
I'll
Buy the book.
Yeah, I'll buy Philip's book. And then I want to go to the mantra.
Okay. You arrive at Mantra. It's quite a bit bigger, but it's not. It doesn't appear to be so. You have to kind of go down an alley to what looks like a very lonesome little door. You go in the door and it goes down some stairs into an underground, and apparently the whole basement area under these buildings is the bookshop. So it's a fairly large bookshop. Once again, there's all of the paraphernalia that you would expect from Satanist stuff. I'm not Satanist stuff, witchcraft stuff, and so forth.
Well,
The Satanist stuff is usually not openly displayed too much because they have an extremely bad reputation.
Yeah, that's understandable. Sure, it's certainly not going to be in their front window. So I'll go in and I'll ask them if they're familiar with Black Sun.
Another woman, it's a woman this time. Her name is, she introduces herself immediately as Erica Holler. And yes, Black Sun. We carry a number of their books here. They do a lot of translations from Russian into English.
Yeah,
And she's pretty much got the same sort of books that
okay.
the other place has.
Well, are you? Again, I'll kind of leave it that. I've been fascinated with Black Sun and their their ties with the Slavic Association. Do you know anything about that? I mean, they're trying to help people find their heritage, and they're publishing things about the occult.
Well, that's what they were originally established for. There were four Russian people that apparently started it. I don't know if they're all still involved, but the original founders of it, I'd have to look that up. But as I recall, last names were Pogodin, Kramer, Orlova, and Mahler, I think. And they established it as something to help Russian-born German people. But I think over the years, they've done a lot of publishing of occult stuff, and I think that this Pagodin and Mahler, and they're the main people, and they're bad news. They're dangerous people, I think. They're involved in Satanism, and they've been in and out of investigations.
Pagodin and Mahler.
Oh yeah. Kramer too. Kramer was part of the East Berlin Satanist circles. But Pagodin is they're really hard people to sort of pin down. Probably those are fake names. At least that's my opinion.
So do you have people from the Satanist circles coming into your shop looking for things?
Occasionally, yeah.
But I mean, if they're with their
I've never
leadership
seen any of those gentlemen.
Well, do you have anything about black magic and curses, particularly from the Slavic tradition?
We've got I don't think we have anything from the Russian, but we do have we've got Arthur Schoenberg's The Physiology of Curses. That's 1934. It's in fact the book that Dr. Richter showed.
I'll buy this one.
But other than that, not really. Curses are kind of, you don't want to have that kind of stuff in a shop.
Of course, I'm certain. Yeah, I'm more interested in defense against curses. I would never desire to harm somebody.
Well, concerning the Slavic Association currently, I think that although they still pretend to be what they claim to originally be, they're probably a bit more of a front for some sort of an occult thing. I don't know whether it's the East German Satanists or not, but those people have a bad reputation. They're dangerous people. I'd stay away from them.
Yes, yeah, I mean, I certainly have interested and also concerns about them myself. If you hear any other news about them, with your position and kind of more in the occult circles than I am, would you mind contacting me with that?
Sure. Do you have a card?
Yeah. My little author card.
So she takes your card. And once again, her name was
Erica Haller.
Erica Haller. Thank you. All right. Anything else?
I'll
finish?
I'll leave.
All right. If you were going to go to Wheel of Fortune, it's
gonna be the same thing. But I'm thinking the reason why I'm not going to stop at the Wheel of Fortune as well. I've already given my name and flat indicated my interest to Erica, who has connections, and
she seemed a little chatty. That's
that was a little it's a little worrisome, and I don't know if I've shown up to 3 cult bookstores all looking, and that's really putting a target on my back. So I don't want to push it. Her chattiness is beneficial because she might chat and learn some things, but it could also come back to haunt me. But at this point, we're lacking leads, but I don't want to stick out my head that far.
So describe the place where you live. It's an apartment complex?
Yeah, so my the place I've always wanted to be a writer, and I've disdained working in other fields. I don't want to have a day job. I want to focus on my craft. The reality of that being that I don't have a whole lot of money. I mean, I have books, they're being sold. I have a trickle of income, and that affords me a tiny little apartment on what used to be East Berlin, essentially.
Okay.
So it's not as up to date or as nice as things in West Berlin, but it's
Probably an
close
ugly old
Stalinist building that's kind of run down. And I have a, kind of like a mid floor. I'm not high up at the top, but I'm not.
What floor do you live on?
The fifth floor.
Fifth floor. Okay. And do you have an elevator, or you have to go up the stairs?
I go up the stairs.
Stairs.
So, and then it's literally just like a bedroom, a kitchenette, a bathroom, my writing desk, bookshelves, and then my cat. That's all.
They're old wooden stairs. You're going up the stairs, fourth floor. You're coming up to the fifth floor, and just as you turn on the stairs, going the last little bit up to the fifth floor, your cat is sitting there at the top of the stairs, and it sees you, and it meows. And comes down
Albert,
a couple stairs to you.
Why are you out? I'm going to peek at my apartment door. Is it open?
It's been forced open.
Holy shit. I'll scoop up Albert and just I'll creep towards my apartment door and listen for anybody in there.
You can see that they've probably used a crowbar or something on where the lock is, because the wood is all damaged and it's been forced open. You don't hear anything in there as you're approaching the door. The door is not open all the way. It's just partly open. You come a little closer and you peek inside. There's nobody there, but it becomes immediately evident that somebody was rifling through your stuff. They didn't trash your apartment, but they definitely were looking for something, or looking for information, mostly over by your desk.
Yeah, I mean, there's not. This place is pretty sparse. There wasn't too much for them to look through.
There is also crime level over here, so it could just be somebody.
Yeah, I mean, people.
No valuables are missing.
Yeah, and that's the weird part. I mean, if somebody broke in here, I would expect them to take something, but they apparently didn't. I do. Let's see. I want to try to figure out what they were looking for. And my typewriter is still here, my manual typewriter. Yeah. And my
investigate.
My word processor is still here. Those are the two most valuable things in here. 13 on the investigate, because 13 plus 0 is 13.
So you want to know what they were looking for?
Yeah, I want to.
It looks like they're just looking for general information about you, medical records, whether you pay your bills on time, where you're from, maybe previous addresses.
Yeah, what the hell? I'm gonna wait for a call from Diedrich, because this is where he's gonna call.
Right. All right. Well, let's then move on to that. Let's move into you. John, you managed to go find your friend, and you aren't bothered at all during the evening, though you find yourself becoming very self-conscious about removing your clothing, because you can see visibly, she doesn't seem to see any of it.
Yeah, that was what I was going to test the water with, because we had the whole thing of the EMTs not seeing the pustules and things wriggling around in there.
You also sort of think that there's a smell, that either she's too polite to say anything or she can't smell it. But it's almost a urine smell.
Really hoping it's the latter. Ugh.
She didn't seem to say anything. But also, if you try to have a good time and consummate your fun, that doesn't work so good. It's just, it's not that it doesn't work. It's just that you're very uncomfortable. You're itchy and not enjoying it. Even if you follow through, it's just not anywhere near as pleasurable. Or
I could ignore it up until a point, but if it's getting in the way of this, then definitely I've got to do something about it. Yeah, I'll try and get through as best I can, but then I think I'm gonna, rather than stay the night, I think I'm gonna go home, load up on as much coffee as I possibly can, and I'm gonna start going through that ritual with a fine tooth comb, trying to think of everything that I need to do to make this work, and start drawing up a shopping list for the morning.
Okay. You are not disturbed in doing this, but tonight, when you sleep or try to sleep, you're back in that room, and there's something in that room with you, something in the dark, something with a face, and a tremendous amount of pain. You can remember pain, waves and waves of pain, and when you wake up, you're almost frantic. You're almost afraid. You are afraid. You're afraid to go back to sleep because you don't want to go back into that. And there was this face, and you can't remember the face, but you've seen it before. It's not the first time this face was in your dreams, but you're just realizing that now, that it was something, almost feels like something from the past, but you can't quite figure out what it was. It eats at you, and it was enjoying your pain. It was mocking you. It was laughing at you, and it was enjoying your pain. And it's infuriating when you wake up. But you're also, the pain was so bad that you're afraid to go back to sleep. You can sort of guess why Magda was in the state she was. She wasn't getting any sleep. She was driven insane by whatever this was. So the next day comes. You guys call each other to arrange where you want to get together. You're going to do that at the cafe?
Yeah.
What's the name of the cafe?
The camp, say Marda's.
Marda's. Okay. Marda's Cafe. You all arrive at Marda's Cafe. Dieter, your evening, by the way, pretty much went the way you wanted it. You were in a random bar, you got drunk, and you found a place to sleep. So now you're back.
Okay. There is something I would have done in the morning before.
I'm sorry, what would you do before you showed up?
Before. Because I probably wouldn't have got too much sleep anyway. my plan would have been to make my way back to my apartment. If that's not where I ended up anyway after my drunken bender, it depends on wherever I ended up. If I did end up back at my apartment, I would just wake up. I'm actually going to ring some of my contacts just to try and find out more about military grade weapons similar to what Petra was doing, because I might have some more clientele who would know a bit more about
All you discover is that it's not surprising that some people would be smuggling weapons in,
yeah.
probably from Russia.
Yeah, I was hoping. See, Dieter would have known about that. Well, known that is where weapons would have come from. He was like, I already know the answer, but just in case, I will check. And then he will get prepared, fresh, splash some water on his face, change his black shirt into another black shirt, and then head to the cafe.
Head to Marta's. Okay. So you guys are all at Marta's. What would you guys like to discuss?
The dream's getting worse for me, I assume.
Yes.
Did you recognize? Is it a him?
It's one of those weird dream things, you know, where like when you know somebody's in your dream, but you can't see them, but you like know they're there. It's like they're familiar, but not that I've ever seen them in the waking world. It's strange. It's very strange.
I assume, Tom, that we're going to cover what Mick and I found at the hospital, etc. Can we assume we've shared
Sure.
these things,
Yeah,
unless
you
there's
shared
something
that.
somebody wants to specifically leave out?
Let's assume that all of what we just did and went over, you've all shared it with one another. So now you can comment on what you
Yeah.
know.
Why would they be looking into me? Why would somebody break into my apartment like that?
I was Petra. When the name Pagodin comes up, you do know the name Alexander Pagodin. East Berlin, black market, Russian mafia, very dangerous individual. Drugs and prostitution mostly. So it's not something you were doing. So you didn't really directly clash in any way, but
Would I have heard that name
it's
before?
a scary name. Not necessarily, maybe.
But Alexander is long form of Sasha. So now we have Sasha. We still don't have Pyotr. And we have to, according to what you say, John, we need to know their names. In addition to figuring out this, these nonsense words. And it's such a so much.
Dieter, did you share that you thought the person who shot us was one of the men from the awards night? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would have.
I'm willing to bet that was Sasha then. You're talking about a man with quick access to all kinds of nasty weapons.
Is it
Remind me.
possible that Pagodin was the man at the awards, the Golden Plaque, or are you thinking of two different monsters?
Oh, maybe I am. I thought that we had known that Sasha was at the awards. Maybe I misremembered that.
We don't know.
Well, there were three men with
Okay.
Magda, but the
Okay.
man that Dieter saw originally was somebody else, looked like a security guard.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's who he thinks was on the roof of the building.
If the SA or as Erica believes, the SA is just a front for the Eastern Berlin Satanists, why would the Satanists bother cursing us to then just gun us down? There's a disconnect, especially with this ritual talking about feeding off of our suffering. Bullet seems like a good way to end that early. So I don't think they're the ones trying to kill us.
Given the way I saw Magda die, I would rather take a bullet to the head than get as far into the disease as she did. So it seems as though we've pissed off two different groups of people.
Yes. There are less dangerous people, men and women around this part, so we do be careful. Just as I look around, paranoid as usual.
So
I feel like the calls on that Philip was trying to warn Magda about something. Maybe
Yeah.
Philip is not on the same page as Pagodin and Mahler.
but didn't it seem like he was suffering for painful dreams? It seems like I got the feeling that he was a dream curse victim and not. So why was he with this man? Or
Well, maybe he doesn't know that maybe they cursed him as well. Maybe they cursed him and Magda. Maybe something they did got them all cursed on accident. I cannot for the life of me think why us? Were we just convenient? Were we just sitting at another table that was nearby? I don't know why we were targeted. And now they're looking. Somebody's looking up information on all of us, it seems. They broke into my apartment. They've been looking into Diedrich.
They've been
Somebody's opening
stalking me.
Petra's mail, stalking you. So if they did they curse us and then need to find us later for some reason? Do they need to look into us? I just cannot put these
I
together.
feel that it is our connection to Magda that ties us together on this. I know why I personally might have an enemy or two after me, and maybe some other people at this table feel the same, but I don't think everyone does. And I think it's Magda that ties us all together.
Yes, I'd say Magda. I have a fair few people, well, enemies, I guess, is the easy way to say, but Magda is the one that seemingly connects all of us.
Because these ties to dangerous people, I don't have any of them. Somebody opening your mail, Petra, that's one thing. Somebody trying to shoot you is also one thing, similarly related. But shooting up, if they're looking into all of us, then it has to be related to this curse that are ties to Magda and not to any criminal underbelly of Berlin.
well, there are two things. We must assume that Magda intentionally or unwittingly passed the curse to us at the ceremony. She touched each of us.
Selma's fine.
It began. Yes, it doesn't mean that everyone she touches gets it. It might be placed on. You're right. I'm sure she's touched other people in passing as well. The coat check people and wait staff and whatever.
I don't think it was Magda who gave it to us.
But it's Magda that makes someone want to investigate or kill us. So
Right,
there's
so
two different. Maybe there's a Stasi group that's still angry at her
Or what it?
from
Yeah.
when she was arrested, etc., in the East, and they think she's a spy or something. And then there are her occultist goon friends who were drawing power from us by torturing us at night. How many nights did she suffer through this?
Months of it seems.
What? Well, I guess we'll all be on barbiturates soon, right?
But here's an interesting thought. Because I said it wouldn't make sense for them to gun us down if they're torturing us for some purpose, something they want to do. If there was somebody else who does not want them to do that, a quick way to put a stop to it is to kill us. If they kill us, they can't harvest us anymore, right?
Right.
So maybe it is another party that wants to kill us just to cut off their source of feeding.
You've started reading Philip's dream book. You've read a bit of it, right, Miller?
It's
Do you-
a complicated mess.
Yeah. Do you have a sense that it's hard to put this curse on someone? It's hard to get rid of it, clearly.
I'd be inclined to say it's probably easy, but there's kind of a things like this are kind of almost like a yin yang in my experience. That one half is easy, the other half is complex. I just wish it was the other way around. So getting rid of this thing looks like it's going to be an absolute pain in the ass.
Right. So if it's easy to curse other parties, then there's no reason to pick us off, especially going to the effort of exotic weapons and making a big scene in public.
I mean, maybe it is our it's a combination of factors, our being cursed and our connection with Magda.
Remind me of this Pietro. What's his surname?
We don't know. There was a postcard in her apartment that was unsigned and said, I've seen him, and it was signed Piotr.
It was postmarked, wasn't it, though? There was a particular place it came from.
Frankfurt
Yes.
on the order.
Hmm?
Frankfurt on the order.
Gotcha. Needle
So
in a
vague.
haystack still.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, postcard's message was so vague, at least to us who are missing key context to the situation. Him in all caps, in all capital letters. That's a Magda. You would only do that if you were sure that the recipient would know exactly which him you were referring to.
There wasn't a Pietro in her Rolodex, was there?
You didn't look for one. Do you still have the Rolodex?
Yeah, I think I said I took it with me. I can't remember though. To be
Address
you
book,
did.
whatever it was.
okay, in which case, if I've got it, I'm going to look through it because that's the only place I can think of where we can get any lead on this guy.
There is no Piotr.
Is there a
it would
Peter
take you
in
a while.
Frankfurt?
There's quite a few names, a few hundred names, but you don't find a Piotr. What was your question, Dietrich?
If there's a Peter in Frankfurt, or there probably aren't many names in Frankfurt.
There's
That was
not.
my sex filter.
There's not anything in there. However, you do find Alexander Pagodin and how's Mahler's first name?
Mahler.
Yeah, Mahler.
What's his first
And
name?
Anton Mahler. You do find them in there.
Okay. Well, pass those addresses out.
You do find, well, if you're thoroughly going through, see how you don't roll a luck roll. If you're sitting there and thoroughly going through the address book and so forth, you do find a mental health clinic in Frankfurt an der Oder. Frankfurt Clinic.
That rings a bell.
Right. Well, she's been in a few places. We should check in with Irina Adler as well, actually.
Yeah.
But okay, we have an address from Anton Mahler, an address for Sasha Pogodin. Since they are not apparently under suspicion of multiple murders, the bookstore lady said.
I mean, we had heard that Philip was under investigation, but she said
Wanted
that
for questioning.
Pagodin and Mahler are also. It's not just Philip, and she also. It's not just Philip who has interests in the Satanist group, the East Berlin Satanists. She thinks that the entire that the four of them, Magda included, that the SAs as a front, their work to rediscover their past is just a cover for their true interests.
I mean, she mentioned ceremonies that she didn't want to take part in, so yeah, it's changed. If it wasn't always something, just hiding under a nice cover.
Okay. I think let's go ahead and break there. You guys have all that to think about through the week. Let's go ahead and do our upkeep so that Josh has to leave early. And folks, so we have a short game tonight because I guess Mick's internet's not working and Josh has to go do stuff. So let's do our upkeep.
I don't think any of us have truly investigated Piotr enough to receive the experience for that. Do you want to keep that as a question for us, Tom, or a to do? Okay.
Now we have a lead after all.
Yeah, I still have confront my followers. I did go to the rooftop. I don't know.
You did attempt
Because it's
to.
the attempt.
You
It's the
attempted.
I did attempt, yeah.
Well, and that's my question too, because mine was confront the people who are looking into me at the PO box, and I did send my employees after to monitor, and they said no one had come.
Yeah, you got
The-
information out of
the
that.
attempt.
They didn't think
Yeah.
that anybody was picking that stuff up. It was just
Yeah. Okay.
My dramatic hook was investigate the SA's interest in the occult, which I most certainly did.
Yeah, you did that. What was yours, Matt?
Mine was prepare for the ritual, hence doing the bit of work last night, or going
Okay.
through it with a fine tooth comb, looking for what I
Right, right.
need. Yeah.
What was yours, David?
I seem to still have what is the odd Russian text, which I have a lead for now, but I can't say I made any progress with that actively. And Piotr, which we didn't manage, so although we're poised. So nothing there.
What about our three big questions? The three general ones.
I have learned nothing about myself.
Have we discovered anything new about the truth?
Oh,
No.
They're looking into all of us. That's
They haven't been looking into me. Or at least I haven't noticed
True.
anything.
And I gave myself, so to be fair, I gave myself a point for that. David gave himself a point for that. And now I guess if we're going to continue that trend, Morgan, you could give yourself a point for that.
yeah.
That you're finding
Somebody's
out that these
looking into
people are
me.
looking into
That's
you.
news.
Wait.
That's big news. Anyway,
We had the dream, but I doubt. Like
And
the what?
that record. Oh, we also learned the East Berlin Satanists. Did we know that before? I don't think we did.
no, we did not know that before.
Not only do we know the East Berlin Satanists, we know Philip Kramer is involved with that. We know Pagodin and Moeller are all involved with. They've all been tied to the East Berlin Satanists.
we
Well,
got
that's
some
true.
new names.
We finally got we've merged sort of different parts of information we had into something useful. We've been trying to find out. We've been looking for the name Pogodin for a long time, and we finally we know who Sasha is.
So is that an affirmative in the the experience point of learning more about
About the truth?
Is that-
yes, I think you all
Okay.
learned more about the truth. Most definitely.
Okay.
The
You've
last
got your
question?
names. That's a very
Right.
important thing.
Have we challenged ourselves?
I don't feel like I have.
I dove behind some bookshelves, but that's
Same. I kind of hid behind legal texts. No.
See, I don't think I did. I know I went up to that rooftop, but that is something I would have done anyway. So that's not challenging.
and I went and talked to a bunch of people, but Ingolf's core characteristic is charisma, so it's talking to people and
Yeah, and as soon as I was clear, it was maybe before I was sure that nobody was dead. I was calculating the insurance advantage. So,
Which is delightful. I love that for you.
I mean scooping up my cat and then going back to my apartment, which had been broken into after being shot at earlier.
Mm.
I mean, that was scary and quite a bit of bravery, but I don't
it was
know, that
interesting.
really-
I thought, when your door has obviously been jimmied and they left it open, they're probably not waiting inside to kill you.
Yeah, that's true.
But then I thought, but they still could be waiting inside to torture you, because who knows? So it was still scary. But I don't know if you challenged yourself.
I
and you're a
wanna-
horror writer.
Yeah.
I guess that's whether I get a point or not, whether you guys feel unnerved. Because I'm supposed to make you feel unnerved.
Well, I don't. I did not like that. Like my cat at the top of the stairs. I'm like, oh, it's like,
Not the
This is-
cat.
Albert, are you okay?
I need a new dramatic hook.
We all, most of us
Same.
do. And David, are you keeping your Russian text hook, or are you letting that one go?
I think this is the chance that I have to actually make it work. I mean, it
Okay.
might have worked this time if we hadn't gotten shot up, but
Okay.
I thought that we kind of said last week that there's no possible way for you to figure out what book she was looking for. Because how
May
would
have
you
been the
know?
case.
What
that's
was that?
why I have a red question mark next to it, perhaps. But I don't have anything else to replace it. And now that we have, well, we already had Dr. Richter's list, which included a Russian book.
but we now have a copy of that book. He had a copy of the book, but I just purchased one, so now we have a copy of it.
Well, if I could make a little suggestion, you guys have all been scrutinized. Now you've got names. You can do some scrutinizing.
It's true.
Mhm.
We do need to
So-
look into these people. So
Absolutely. I mean, so are we going to call it
My
Find Pogoden and Mahler?
maybe investigate. I don't know that we want to
yeah,
find them, but at least learn more about them, who they are, etc.
'cause- yeah, that's something that I would want to do, especially Pagodin, considering
Same.
he's a sleazebag.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You and I might have the means to find out more about him, Josh. Like to dig
Between
you
them.
probably more than myself, but
Between the both
two
of us,
yeah, we should
between
be
your business and my
so yeah. So maybe the two of us
profession.
are like same, can be investigate Pagodin.
Pagoda, yeah. And then, yeah, if we have investigate Pagodin as our,
Who else needs investigating?
so wait, what is the overall GM?
Oh, just still investigate Piotr. Like we
Okay,
don't have
okay.
anything on that yet. Should John's be to kind of reconvene with Irene? Didn't we say we kind of needed to do that? And she's kind of his contact.
Yeah, I can go visit her.
See if she has any more information, or did she have did we kind of give her something to do, or is it if you touch base with her, it's not going to be anything relevant?
I think it was the latter. It was just I think she parted with keep us informed about what was going
Okay.
on. So yeah, update her.
Of course,
Okay.
she's not going to necessarily know even of Magda's death unless somebody contacts her.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to break that. Fun.
Yeah, because Magda had a key to her home, didn't she? There's some kind of relationship there on some level. So she should probably know.
Yeah, I only 60% trust her though.
Sure.
She's like, here's a key, go look there, and then leave town. Well,
So David, you're going to keep Russian text. Are you dropping Russian text? It seemed like Tom might have been hinting that you
I
should
think
drop
that-
the
I
Russian
think
text
that-
thing.
yeah, I think that's if it's
Okay.
if it's a clue, it's a clue we've got from other sources.
We still need to follow up with the doctor.
right, and then we have the problem of Nick being missing. But,
Right.
that
That was
have
kind of his
contact
thing,
with-
wasn't it? Okay.
I mean, we spoke to him together. He certainly initiated it. I was like, we have
Right.
to get the hell out
But
of here. I was like,
Out of
"No,
all
I'll
of
go
us
inside."
here, you're the only one that would really be capable of following up with him. So maybe,
Yeah, and since Mick can't do assignments right now,
right. So
Because
yeah,
of-
we could just say, because the both of you could do that
Yeah.
together anyway, if nothing
Yeah.
else. So follow up with whatever the doctor's name was on this. So I
Yeah.
think
Dr. Richter.
Morgan needs something. Who was the other person? It was
Yeah,
so
I-
Josh and I are looking
Mola.
into. Okay.
we're looking into Pagodin and there's
Or maybe just in
Anton
general,
Mola.
East Berlin
The East
or
Berlin
West Berlin
Satanists.
Satanists. Yeah.
That's
like
what I
maybe-
want to look at. I mean,
Okay, yeah,
I've been
that
told
was
by
what I was
several
gonna
people
suggest,
like
so.
they're very dangerous.
So investigate the East Berlin Satanists.
Yeah, I mean, if we could find out where they meet, I mean, we need that for the ritual too. We need to know where in the hell these people
well,
are.
they're in the Black Sutton building for sure.
Mhm. That's
Okay.
Multiple stories that weren't very busy.
That's
It's
true.
a
And I
coven.
guess Magda said that's where they went, right? For ritual in a building. In a journal. She said there was a ritual somewhere.
We can double check it, but I suspect that's going to be in that combination
But yeah,
dark tower.
I will investigate the East Berlin savings. Or try to anyway.
Cool. Is that everything?
So yeah, we're getting good
All
at this. We're like moving it along.
We're learning our upkeeping.
Cool. Our players included Matthew Sanderson, David Gasway, Holly Puto, Morgan Llewellyn, Josh Harwood, and Nick Swan will be with us next week. And yours, with yours truly as the keeper, as the master, as the game master. It's different with KULT. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the strange and terrifying world of the KULT Divinity Lost role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.